Now, the liability problem of the Kamala Harris situation. She's tied to Julie Sue, got caught basically connected with $31 billion in fraud, doing basically mass communications blacklisting, wasting people's times on the phone who basically were forced for months and months on end into a telephone hijack system that hijacked your time and wouldn't let you get through. As all of this $31 billion in fraud was perpetuated. In other words, the people who were owed the money, many of them were blacklisted as other people were given money. So this goes far deeper. People don't understand. The investigations still continue. The investigations are not done. Now, when you have Julie Sue blacklisting the income recovery of a candidate, that's illegal. That's attack upon the income of a candidate. That's an act of war. That disqualifies her from running in an election. It also has a bunch of other repercussions that are pretty extensive. Basically, she's not supposed to be allowed to ever have a job anywhere with banking, security, justice, government, ever again. But there's something incredibly wrong with our justice system. So, who else do we have here? Well, she's a supporter, or you might call a muster, of certain parties. Joe Biden, for instance. He ended up with her. Why he ended up picking her after the fact, who knows? But she's on board with the team the way it is. Kamala Harris is part of that team. That means Kamala Harris is disqualified as a participant to be a candidate. She's illegal. An illegal candidate cannot be a candidate. People, for some reason, this is just not clicking on board the association and what the Constitution and Articles state. So what happens? Ultimately, regardless of lawsuits in between, this ends up in front of Congress and she's disqualified. So why people are wasting their time at a convention today, I have no idea. I've been talking till I was blue in the face to explain to people that Kamala Harris is not allowed to be a candidate. But, go figure. Let's continue this. Now we have somebody by the name of Shirley Weber. Shirley Weber is the Secretary of State of California, supposedly takes an oath to protect the process of elections. The ultimate person to protect the process of elections, pretty much in most states, falls in a very narrow category. Symbolically, it's supposed to be the Secretary of State with the power to do whatever necessary. If she has to muster up specialized legal forces to protect elections, she's allowed to do that. Usually that would be done orchestrated with smaller areas such as localized government. However, when you're talking about a candidate's under attack, she's got an obligation. Now, to shirk that obligation would be, basically, possibly election rigging. Let me give you an example of election rigging. Candidate has their income come under attack by the state of California. Why? Well, it's called COVID. Businesses are all shut down. The businesses that business does business with are all shut down. Now, businesses in question generally are nonprofits and various other types of businesses. So you have auction houses, you have all these other different types of businesses that were deemed unnecessary and ordered shut down, but they happen to also be part of the income of the candidate. Now, the law, the Constitution and Articles don't make a differential to say, oh yeah, you can attack a candidate and completely eliminate their income if it's a pandemic. No, that's not in there. Doesn't exist, not in there. These people are inventing a new man-made terminology, which means when the government orders your income shut down because of a pandemic, that's a man-made disaster. They instantly become responsible for your income compensation, and they become your insurer in everything. In other words, they shut your income down. You can't pay auto insurance. You can't pay health insurance. You can't pay life insurance. You can't pay all those insurances are automatically by law the responsibility of the person who did what? Created the man-made disaster, because it's a man-made disaster. It was created by a human being. Without the actions of a human being, it wouldn't have occurred. So Congress ordered money and says, yeah, we have to compensate all these people. If this is going to have shutdowns all over the place, we have to. We've got to compensate people. So that's a compensation package. Now, there's many ways that compensation package was handed out. Number one, anything that had to do with labor went through whoever handled labor. California, that would have been Julie Sue. Once again, hello, there's Julie Sue. So when a candidate says, hey, look, I got all my incomes shut down, all the nonprofit activity is shut down. Got an archive here, We have artifacts older than the Constitution of the United States. We have an archive here that has the latest cutting-edge research in certain AI, electronics, and certain other areas. It's kind of extensive. Very important. That's national security, by the way. I'm a candidate also, and the archive has analytics, and it has very interesting, unique custom research pertaining to what? National security. So we also have economics research, unique economics research. This is both election, governmental, and national security. So when the candidate says to Shirley Weber, hey, this woman over here, Julie Sue, won't pay the money owed that Congress has ordered, that money's available to me, I need it. That means that you are handling the money. The state of California owes me the money, period. And Congress has ordered it. And Shirley Weber's basically, I don't give a flying F. It says, hey, there's documents here. There's documents from the candidate carrying petitions around, certifying other people's signatures. These documents are proof beyond the shadow of a doubt. They need to immediately be verified by you, because I'm a candidate under attack. You are the Secretary of State. It is your job to protect the process of elections. And my income is under attack. That's an act of war against a candidate. It's your job to see this through and fix this. Because the state of California owes me money. Not happening. So the Secretary of State's office is not investigating, is not protecting the process of elections, is not protecting and investigating candidates that have come under acts of war. They refuse to do action this day. They refuse to do any forms of filings. They refuse. So these people are rigged. This is what's called a rigged election. In other words, they have blacklisted candidates 100% by being participants, because they're the government, they're the state of California, and they have shut down the income. Now we have candidates that cannot operate. They can't operate because the methodology necessary for the candidate to operate has been shut down. In multiple ways, actually, multiple ways. So the state of California owes money because Congress gave them money. That means the state is holding on to money that belongs to other people like the candidate. But they're going to abscond with the money and intentionally attack the income of a candidate. That's intentional. That means that they're doing what? They're committing an act of war against a candidate. They're disqualified. In the case of Shirley Weber, that's treason. That's treason. No way around slicing that pie. Criminal offense. Major criminal offenses. That means it's also the AG's office responsibility to protect the people of California. It is also the AG's office, by the way, to protect the process of elections. That means to protect candidates that come under attacks that are deemed to be the equivalent of acts of war. So now we have dereliction of duty at the AG's office. So now they're disqualified. Now into this, there's a longer history because it just so happens that Kamala Harris has previous issues in California. Previous issues where candidate has also previously gone to the AG's, which was Kamala, and says, hey, got these bad cops here harassing my campaign, writing lies, and you're allowing California to electronically perpetuate these electronic lies. Investigated by the state of Arkansas, proven, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that the candidate is telling the truth and that the candidate is being harassed. Now into this we have additional factors because the candidate is also an archiver. That means we have additional charges. This means there is now a triad of national security, attack on archives. By the way, attack on archives are a major offense. That's a criminal item. That's an act of treason. Comes with the death penalty. Eventually, she doesn't want to do anything. So we have multiple acts of dereliction of duty of Kamala Harris attacking a candidate in previous elections. So she's just going to keep getting involved again and again and again in dereliction of duty. So repeatedly, Kamala Harris is repeatedly disqualified for participating in attacks against a candidate. Again, defined by the Constitution and the Articles of the United States. So Kamala Harris repeatedly is an illegal candidate. She can't be a candidate. She's gone. She's smoked. She's over with. She cannot pass muster before United States Congress. Y'all are wasting your time at a convention pointing at Kamala Harris, and she can't possibly win because she's not allowed to win. She's disqualified. Multiple times over, she is disqualified. What else do we have? Well, we have Julie Su. She's disqualified from running an election. She's also in line to be charged with what? Treason. Election rigging. We also have who? We have Shirley Weber, also in dereliction of duty, also with criminal intent to rig elections. These are multiple charges again and again and again and again. So, hi, how are you doing? My name is Michael Crosby. I'm running for President of the United States, and I'm disqualifying multiple parties across the board for running as candidates for the presidency. And I've been talking all week long, posting on X, making phone calls, trying to get people to understand, please, stop being foolish. please stop trying to book somebody who cannot prove and make muster through Congress. She can't pass through Congress. All the delegates are going to be seized. All those delegates are going to be seized. Why? Because I'm seizing all those delegates. Because these people are participants in rigging elections. Multiple times, multiple instances, these parties have participated in election rigging. Good morning again. My name is Michael Crosby. I'm running for president. What do you think here? Isn't this a state of emergency? Of course it is. We have a state of an emergency. We have an emergency because we have parties who have rigged multiple elections. Let's just look at the last California gubernatorial special election. Well, basically, it's a long story. I'm a multi-state resident. I got stranded in California due to the illegal actions and dereliction of duty of who? Kamala Harris. Once again, here it comes again. Again, investigated, proven beyond the shadow of a doubt by the state of Arkansas. Oh, wow, that's interesting. There's other stuff that goes back even further, and the IRS is my witness. There's illegal impounds, all this other stuff verified by the IRS saying, hey, these people won't let us inspect documents. There's something wrong with all of this. All of this. We, the IRS, want to go in and see what's going on here. We have a complaint. We immediately want to see these documents. This man wants these documents, these legal documents, legal proceedings, legal research, and you won't let us view the stuff when we have permission. There's something wrong with this. Something wrong with this. So the IRS says, well, first of all, don't worry about your taxes. We just proved beyond the shadow of a doubt these people have stolen your records. They admit to it blatantly. And they're blocking us from viewing and getting the records. And we don't want to have to go through a whole lot of stuff, which they should have, filing a bunch of stuff in court. So we're just making an investigator report on this. Happened several times, by the way. Now, jump back here up on our current situation. The current situation is perpetuating as the income is shut down and everything's shut down. An entire fleet, a whole convoy of vehicles, grinds to being put into more and more jeopardy. This is the absolute truth. The absolute truth. Into this, we also have violent attackers that decide that they're going to violently attack locations, various different locations, that they're going to commit burglaries. We're talking multiple locations here, that they're going to do all of these nasty burglaries. They're going to steal things. They're going to steal information pertaining to national security. They're going to basically steal or damage. They thrash and damage things. They're destroying books, old books. They're destroying artifacts older than the Constitution of the United States. What does the Constitution and the Articles have to say about that? That's attack upon an archive, a violent attack. Those are very major charges. Those are bigger than the charges that Donald Trump is facing. Larger. These are considered acts of treason. Come with mandatory death penalty, by the way. Read the Constitution on this. No joke here. Read the Constitution and the Articles. So what do we have? Repeatedly, parties in dereliction of duty by law know what they're doing. They know that they're attacking incomes. They know that they're attacking a fleet. They know that they're attacking a candidate's fleet. Acts of war. So these people are aiding and abetting, and they are also shared in the liability. Various federal law involving the destruction or theft of national security information states anybody's involvement. It's a wide berth, which includes Julie Sue, Shirley Weber, Kamala Harris, and others. So these parties have violated national security and are deeply involved in treason. They're responsible Because why? They're the ones that shut the income down. Cannot move fleet, cannot move convoy and get convoy out of jeopardy's way. What a bunch of despicable human beings. Violence, candidates coming under fire. Under fire. These people are blacklisting the incomes. And as it's the need and the necessary to say, hey, we have to move this convoy, they don't give a flying F. Treasonous behavior. Kamala Harris, it's impossible, once again, please people, please understand what I have told you is the truth. We need the immediate arrest of Kamala Harris. We need the immediate arrest of Julie Sue. We need the immediate arrest of Shirley Weber and an array of some other people. We have to get this show on the road. We have to restore 18 mobile broadcast RV archives. There's currently $2.8 billion as a minimum understanding of the damage done to the Arkansas filed mobile archive system. Don't be a despicable person and hear this information as a delegate. If you're a delegate hearing this information for the first time, you are to immediately withdraw your vote and say you have been lied to. Information has been withheld. If you don't do that, you have felony intent. And you will disqualify your vote, and you run the risk of having your permanent voting rights taken away from you for the rest of your life. Possibly higher charges than that. Possibly you can be faced, just like all these other people, getting charged with felony charges over funny business with phony delegate activities. Now again, these are a little bit different criminal charges, but you have an obligation to the people to protect the voters. And now you have information for you to act upon. That means you have the obligation to individually investigate. That is your duty to be a steward. Gee, it sounds like I'm screaming at you. What do you want? What do you want from me? I've got the truth. I put it on the table. There it is. I have to ask you now, based on this information you have received, what are you doing? What are you going to do? At this point, I'm already blue in the face, but I want to thank you for your time and anybody else that's going to end up hearing the material. My name's Michael Crosby. I am running for the presidency of the United States.